Right, before we jump in, I feel compelled to explain. Mike, stand up. Right, explain what you're wearing, please.
Well, this is a wine dip suit. I took a bathtub high up into the Andes and filled it with 200 liters of wine and sat in the bathtub. And this is actually the second time I've done this. It worked for a few weeks.
You have another one like this at home?
Yeah, it turns brown after a while, but it has a really nice smell if you want to.
There you go.
But we managed to hobble out on stage.
I just didn't want them to think you were that poor. Right. I hesitate to start with you two because as much as, well, let's start with the simple stuff. Mike, from your point of view, what do you do for a living?
Well, I make wine, very nice Malbec Petit Verdot in Mendoza from organic grapes. And now taking this wine to India mostly.
Natalia, what do you do for a living?
I'm a musician, composer. I write music.
And you've got I believe it's a rock opera.
I just wrote the rock opera from the Andes, from South America, from an old legend from the Andes. That's what I've done.
And, I mean, you know, wine and music, all you need is love and you'd be done.
Well, they're good things to go together. It's
yeah,
a very
they're
fine.
Tone. But then we end up with this other thing that's out there.
Yes.
You've created a TV show.
So we're doing a TV show called The Luck Hunters. And basically this is a reality show that's going to follow us around the world on TV, on YouTube, and of course with a big push with social media, working with entrepreneurs in different countries to promote us during our program around the world. And it's basically just me selling wine and Natalio selling his rock opera from the Andes, El Futre, as we travel around the world, but showing how we can tie these together, you know.
And why? Why create a TV show? There's a purpose in your madness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the challenge, just like with any entrepreneur, is getting the word out.
Same thing Sebastian said, same thing Kelly said.
Right, but the idea of doing the TV program is to say, okay, here is the product, the wine or the music, and here are the followers, the customers, meaning on the TV program and social media all in one go. So if you're a shop owner in India and you're thinking, well, I've already got 30 wines on my shelf, or you're a theater producer in Mumbai or in London or someplace else, and you say, well, it's a very nice piece of theater you've done, but it's not The Wizard of Oz. It doesn't have the brand recognition. You say, yes, but here are all the followers that we've got, people that are interested because we're doing this really fun TV show around it.
So in defense of your proposition, I was trying to figure out if I had any other analogs out there anywhere. And I did run into something. It may be that you're at the forefront of a revolution. And I'll tell you why. Because if you're an author and you try to publish a new fiction novel now, in 2011, in any of the major developed markets, in an area where, it's a brutal area publishing a novel right now. There's a lot of them out there, and the number of people reading has not increased with the pace of novels created. The publisher, first thing they ask you is, do you already have an audience? And it's a catch-22, isn't it? Because if you haven't published, you don't have an audience. If you have published, you do, and therefore the published get published and the unpublished remain unpublished. And so what people have started to do, once again, because of technology, is they've moved something that used to be called vanity publishing and is now called self-publishing, where they create audiences using social media. They create a group of followers so that they can hand to the publisher and say, look, I'm already loved. And I would assert that you actually are trying to close the trio. You got the wine, you got the music, you're looking for the love.
Well, can I give an example of how this would play out? So, because I've done a lot of trips around places like India and East Africa showing wine and talking to them. But imagine this situation. I'm walking into a liquor store in Lucknow or in Bangalore or wherever. And I'm showing the wine and I'm explaining, you know, this is from Argentina, this is organic grapes and the regular story. And the shop owners will look at you and say, well, okay, that's interesting. And then I take out an iPad and I say, all right, I'm going to take 3 or 4 pictures of you and your shop. And this is 3G, and you know, I'm going to immediately publish a page with Google Maps saying, my wine is sold in your shop if you buy it. And the camera that's filming us, because it's a TV show, is going to be edited down to a program on YouTube at the end of the day or the next day. And at the end of the week on network will be a broadcast television. So basically, And we've got
So you're
hundreds of
driving a lot of business to his shop.
Exactly. We've got hundreds of thousands of followers, and this is why, and plus all of the exposure you would get on these other outlets.
Is your wine any good, Mike?
It's very good, yes.
I'd hoped you said that.
And it's well suited for spicier foods and things like that.
So I'll ask you guys the same question I asked the other two entrepreneurs. We're sitting here in front of all of One Young World. I'll ask you each separately. What can they do to help you? Natalio?
Me first. Well, you can go to iTunes and listen to some samples of the music.
What do they type into iTunes to find you?
Futre,
Spell that for those of us who are challenged.
E-L-E-L-F-U-T-R-E.
El Futre.
El Futre. And my name, Natalio Feingold, and you can listen, and if you like it, you can get the word out. And also to the Luck Hunters, that is the program we're doing. And basically, we're just trying to get like a really nice vibe and music and wine to the whole world.
So music, wine, and a vibe. That's what we're asking for. Mike, what can they do for you?
Well, I mean, like I said, since we're doing a program on YouTube and it has such a huge component with getting those followers. So when I'm standing in front of that shop owner, you know, it's
follow
really about
Luck
following
Hunters.
on Twitter, following on Facebook. That would make a huge difference for us.
And drink your wine.
And drink of wine, of course.
It's a hard job, guys.
Yes.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause.
Wait. I have a question. You didn't ask us a second
gosh.
question.
Yes. What's the second question?
What you can do for us.
Fine. And what can I do for you, Mike? Thank you for reminding me.
Yes. Well, as the great mentor of entrepreneurs that you are, we'd love to have you come on one of the episodes of the Luck Hunters.
Okay, you realize I didn't know this was coming, and you've just put me on the spot.
Basically, you have to sing.
There goes your TV show. Fine, done, deal.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Natalia and Mike.